This is the epicenter of audio frequency entertainment.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Can't get enough of it.
Oh, yeah. You guys are the best.
Heffron and Reep.
I love you, love you, love you.
The Heffron and Reep Show.
Happy birthday. It's John Heffron, Jon Reep. Found some numbers that were just on our hard drive. So we started playing them. Like the first one. Let's go video. Jon Reep, as we're talking, I'm getting a text message from comedian Josh Blue. You might know Josh Blue from
I do know Josh Blue.
Manning. I just texted him and asked if he'd be on our show because I saw a social media thing saying Josh is on America's Got Talent. And
Right.
I was curious about that.
I am too. What did you ask him? What did he say?
Well, I'm trying not to text like I text, right? I literally just came out working in the garden. And okay, listen, what John, look at this. Can you give me just 10 minutes? I literally just got out of working in the garden and in dirt and
We
dirty
also have a private chat that you should check out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's
Okay.
another guest that might be.
Dude, look at us. We're just starting.
It's all happening at once.
I haven't even got to say hello to you. I haven't even got to ask you about your weekend. And
It's great.
That's just the heat.
Yeah.
That the Heffron and Reep podcast has now.
Yeah. And
Right.
we have content.
Remember when we could start the show and just we would just talk and say like, "Hey, Jon Reep, what's up?" And you're like, "No, it's John Heffron. How are you?" And we could start like just ease into things.
Yeah.
We-
Can't do it no more because we're popular. We're ranked number 1 according to the World Podcasting Federation, and that comes with major responsibilities. And we have guests, we have content, we have a lot of things to talk about because we're going live as well. We have people that are talking to us. Shane and Zach and Deborah and Jerry and Wendy and all these people, Ray, are watching us live right now, either on YouTube or Facebook. And we're hoping you hit the share button. That's why I'm wearing my share hat. If you hit the share button at any time, it helps. Always helps to hit the top of the show. Then more people can watch us longer live, and it helps numbers, helps us get more amazing content and guests like John Heffron's about to inform us about.
Oh, so yeah. Sorry, I
No, it's fine. I set you up, dog.
Here in the thing. So wait a second. Didn't we have a guest?
Well, I think according to the private chat.
Okay. So here, corn cheese. Hey, Alan, all good.
It's not Josh. It's someone else.
Right. That's why we have a double whammy. There's gonna be we're gonna have a lot of people on the show.
Moving parts.
Usually when I try to ask people if they want to be on the podcast, I just get no. Sorry, what's a podcast? John, if this was 2004, I'd respond to you, but I'm not the John Heffron of 2021. I was more positive. 2004. But we've been talking, me and John's been talking about the town swap. Obviously, Reep came to Michigan. Obviously, I went to Hickory, North Carolina. And then we decided we have so many comic friends from all over, just everywhere. Comic just that are friends, not just comics that we just know in a green room and stuff like that, but just friends we keep in touch with. We send out text messages just asking, hey, I hope you're well. Those type of friends. So I reached out to one of them today, and they like the pronoun to be referred to as them. I reached out to I've known Tammy since the last comic. We were actually on last comic standing together.
Yes.
Miss Tammy Pescatelli reached out to her, said, "Would you do me and John's podcast?" And we have some other things to ask you. And first she said, does it have to be on camera? I get that a lot because people then do I have to get makeup ready? And I said, just show up. Just show up. Look at, Reep wears tanner. We haven't talked about
What are you talking about, man?
We'll talk about that.
This is stage makeup, bro.
But
I'm camera ready, dude.
But if Tammy Pescatelli is ready, Alan, if you could hit our video, because we have to give every guest the awesome video intro, and then we could talk.
That is awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage. This could be one of the first times we've seen each other face to face, Tammy. And
yeah.
How long has it been?
You guys look young, and I look a million. I don't know what happened.
Well, by the way, this, Tammy Pescatelli, I know I've said your name 700 times. You can follow her at, I don't even know how to spell Pescatelli.
It doesn't matter. It's
I don't know.
It's over anyway.
I got to know Tammy from Last Comic Standing. She was on my season. And then after that, we did a bunch of tours back in the day. We traveled a lot with each other. Tammy has, what's your last special? Coming
way after school special, where I went to my old high school to tell my guidance counselor off, and she was dead. So, so if you're gonna do revenge with someone, you should do it fast, not cold.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, when they told me, I got teared up. Like they were like, "Oh, she died," and I'm like, I was teary, and they're like, "Oh, sorry to tell you," and it was like, "No, I wanted to go look, bitch."
Yeah,
you told me I couldn't do this.
Wow. So you never got that closure with her.
No. And like I grew up in a little town outside of Cleveland, Perry, Ohio. So when I went there I brought all the camera crew, all the production that if I would have seen that when I was in high school, I would have went crazy. It would have made a big difference, Right. And I had all the high school kids work alongside the professionals. So they got a credit on my special. I was like, I'm really doing it. We set up a scholarship. And then that was the last thing I was going to do is I go, what happened to Mrs. I can say her name because she's dead. She can't sue me. What happened to Mrs. Hoffman? And they're like, oh, she died. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding.
Figures.
This is so indicative of my career. It's like I'm almost there. And then it just never I'm the precursor.
Well, I mean, you get the last laugh either way, because you're alive and you're doing well. And so,
am I doing well, John?
I can look at you and tell you're doing.
I have no trailer, and I don't have that cool BR549 back soundproof booth that you have over there.
Oh yeah. Well,
but Tammy, you look like So I'm in some trailer. John's in some soundproof booth, but you look like you could do the weather at any given time.
Yeah. I have had to do stuff. That's the problem. Like everybody wants to do a show from home and every podcast wants you. Listen, guys, I'm 50 years old now. I am not the person that people saw when I was in 2004 and I was underweight and dancing on tables. Like that's always the first thing when people go, oh my God. Like that's the young person's like big insult to you're old. Yeah, I'm old. I am old. But when I was young, I wasn't typing the Golden Girls, telling them how old they were. I was going out, go have a good time.
Right. You were living it up. And by the way, I don't think you look great. I don't know what you're talking about. Like this nonsense doesn't compute to me right now.
Well, you know what? It's okay because at this point, I'm probably never going to have to leave the house again anyway. So it just is never going to happen.
So you're in your house and you made a green wall. Is that a painted green wall?
Yeah. Well, it got ripped. It was an actual old screen.
Okay.
You can see there's a little tape, so it's giving me a highlight. But it's an old screen from like your teacher used to pull down, and then we painted it and tried to. I don't know. I bought a good mic. Look at this. I mean, I don't.
Oh, that is a pretty cool mic.
This wasn't what we were supposed to be doing with our lives. I was supposed to just tell jokes.
So here's
performing in front of Ring doorbells.
Well, hang on. I saw you on TV the other day. I was at my girlfriend's house, and there's a whole channel. She has the internet TV, so whatever free internet smart app that comes with smart TVs these days, it comes with like 8 billion channels you never heard of. I think there's one channel just called the Honey Boo Boo channel. But there is one channel that's dedicated to comedy, and your series was on there. You had a forgot the name of it, but it was
really
a
stand-up mother about me being a comedian?
Yes.
I wish somebody would pay me. I'm the executive producer, creator of that show.
Yeah, that's probably on. You probably saw it on like Pluto TV.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know how. Yeah,
but yeah, I was so eager. I was like with my girlfriend. I was like, "Honey, I know her. That's Tammy." Because I didn't know it was like a internet TV at first. Like she's got a show, and I was like, "Oh, that one's been on before." She
had a show. She had she had a show. Like you probably should have went for Josh Blue full of dirt before you grabbed me and stuck me on the show. You guys, you probably have been better off.
Me? No,
we
want to come to your town.
Blue Buds. Tammy was just on you, right? Not Blue Blood.
Yeah, Blue Bloods. I just was on Blue Bloods.
Like an episode or ago.
Well, it just replayed, but yeah, this season, and supposedly it's going to be an arc. Like I'll get 3 episodes out of it now. So
and John does acting. You two, I'll write a buddy flick for you two, and I'll just bow out and stay in my farmhouse.
No,
furniture.
I don't think so. I think we all have to go do something somewhere. That's why when you guys were doing all this stuff, I want you to come. Now, my hometown originally is Cleveland. I now live in Northwest Pennsylvania. That's what that show was all about, leaving LA when I was pregnant. Half you remember when I left and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I got to get this kid out of this crazy town and bring him around crazy people I'm related to. Yeah. And, we got stuck here. We got landlocked, and it's a good thing because it's a great area. You guys should come. They love comedy. I've trained them to come see me, and we'll bring you to Erie. We'll do it at Keller's.
You know, it's so funny what Tammy did. It's weird. I alternate. You know how sometimes you call people by their first name or last name. Tammy, I alternate. I either call her Tammy or Pescatelli. But John, I think I might only say Reep.
You could go either way. It's weird because you're John and I'm a John.
Yeah,
so I would prefer it if you call me Reep that way. I wish if me and John Heffron in the same room together. Note to everyone listening. Yeah, go ahead and just use our last names because it's very confusing.
I just call you Shaq because he's the one who speaks in the third person the most because that's what it sounds like. You're just calling John, either one of you. So.
Tammy was a trendsetter. I remember when Tammy moved out of LA, she did it 2 or 3 years before all the cool Roganites did it. Right. So it was so Tammy moved. And then shortly after that, I think, John, then you went.
Yeah.
And then I went. And then everyone else thought it'd be hip and trendy. Yeah.
You know, we're ahead of the curve. We see the writing on the wall. We know what's happening. We know what's coming up. So I got out 3 years ago, Tammy, because I was missing home. I really missed my family. That was the big one. The housing market was crazy. I put my condo up and it went crazy offer pretty quick. And I thought, well, that's a sign. I flew my dad out to LA. We packed all my crap up. We drove across the country to North Carolina without sleeping. We didn't get a hotel. We went 47 hours straight, just getting gas and food. And came back home to Hickory, and then a couple months later, he has a stroke.
I know. I'm sorry.
Then he's paralyzed on his left side in a skilled nursing facility. And then I thought, well, I'll sit here for a minute and take care of Mom. And then pandemic happens. So 49-year-old Jon Reep, and this is part of my little act now, is I can't tell people I'm a comedian anymore. I can tell you I'm an elder care Uber driver. That's what I do. I take Mom to that, I do that stuff now.
That's what happened to me, to be perfectly, not to, they dropped my father, paralyzed him. I got here. They paralyzed him at the hospital. He just passed away. And then my mother had a stroke. Oh. So but you know what? I'm blessed to be here because I would have been going back and forth crazy from LA.
100%. You would be hating yourself. I would be hating myself if I were trapped in LA with a mortgage and with not being around them. I mean, I'm in a weird way, the timing was perfect. If it's going to happen, I would rather it be happen that I'm here. And I'm sure the same for you, that at least you could be close by,
Yeah, it definitely. It makes a difference. Plus my kid. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying because that can kind of stick with you. I went through a similar thing that you guys did, but I was not home. So right after I won Last Comic, everything kind of blends together. But maybe the first year after that, in a different city, maybe every 7 hours. Tammy, you're with me during a lot of it where you do it. I mean, it was you're just nonstop. Then that's when my mom got sick. And you started, she's going through all her chemo. And then in your brain, you're thinking, well, I can fly back to Michigan. Let's see, in like 5 days. Let me do these 4 shows. Then I'll fly back to Michigan. Then I'll stay for a couple days. Then I'll fly off and do that. And now that everything's passed and whatever, I still beat myself up and just, sometimes I'll lay in bed going, why the fuck did I go to the whatever dumb funny? Like, why did I spend any time anywhere but?
Well, here's the thing. Don't feel bad about number one. I got a brother that's sitting on the couch and doesn't go help. You know what I mean? He wasn't in a different country. He's just sitting there like a big jackass that he is, loser. So that it happens regardless. But the thing about the three of us that I will say, if I can, is that we were meant to be comedians, but we were never really supposed to be part of that show business life.
Right.
Like, it's nice. I always wanted to be successful at what we did, but I stayed even with comics in LA. I never left the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory and the Improv. I wasn't trying to be part of the Hollywood elite running around,
Right. Yeah. I never liked that side of it. I just wanted to be funny and get money. I hate the audition part of things.
Yeah.
And I still will randomly get them and I'll do them here. But I don't like the, that whole begging for a part stuff. And I'm happy to be out of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And I don't have an urge within the last.
You can go back anytime and live underneath a bridge because that's like you don't even need a hotel. It's so full of homeless people right now.
Yeah, I mean it's bad. It's really bad. When I've not long ago took the girlfriend to Hawaii, but we stopped at a layover in LA, and I said, let's do a day and a half of LA so I can show you what it's like. And everybody has in their brain what they think LA is, right?
Right.
They think it's either the ocean or they think it's, Beverly Hills, and they don't know that crap in between. And I said, I want you to see how bad it is. I wish more people could see how bad it is. But they are. They're slowly seeing it. It's bad.
Well, we were really cool because we were all together. That was the thing. Like, I wasn't in LA very long. I'd only been in LA like 2 years when we got that show. And then then it was just like, it was always comics for me, I think. And the strippers. I did live in a stripper colony. And so that was in various stages of their career. So that was a different thing.
When and where was this?
I lived right behind the Dime, that place on right behind Fairfax High School, in between Fairfax and Beverly.
What was it called?
Melrose. Just apartments on North Orange Grove. But I moved in and there were like 5 other apartments. It's a little apartment building. And 4 of them were occupied by strippers in various stages of their careers. And they kind of taught me how to be a girl because, like, I was always with guys. I was with my brothers, then I was with you guys, and I was never like flirtatious. I never knew how to do any of that stuff. Like I always was just really like, hey,
I did not know. And by the way, I think we have another special guest, Tammy. I just wanted to stay on because we could all.
Yeah, and by the way, Tammy's getting tons of compliments on our comment section right here. Everyone's saying how pretty she is. Yeah, just want you to know that.
I would have been at your house more, Tammy, if I didn't know that setup. I was a young 20-something single. At the time, I remember your apartment had a what are those machines? Those ellipticals. I would have just
my apartment.
The elliptical. I would have done more.
Old lady Magda who lived there. She was like naked, and she was always naked, and you never wanted to see her naked. She would go strip at Laughlin on the weekend, right? Yeah. And then there was the one that the environmentally conscious stripper that would go up to Crazy Girls in her old time electric car. You remember those ones that looked like golf carts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pick up she would pick up garbage on the way, but you saw her, John, with the giant G boob. She had like those big Morgana, the kissing bandit.
Oh, right. Yes.
And then there was that one that was super hot. She looked just like Pamela Anderson, but she hoarded animals. If you went into her house, there were like free-range turtles, birds, parrots. It was like crazy.
Hang on, John. Were we not just having this discussion before we went on air?
Yeah.
About sometimes the hottest 20-something-year-old girls are the most slobbiest, disgusting
so
people.
Here's what we brought up. We always read stories that we never bring up online or during the podcast, but we always have like a half-hour talk so we don't just come on air and just yam about nothing. And then we end up not ever getting
right. Never talk about
So
it.
we were bringing up, somehow we brought up messy apartments. And we just asked, has a girl ever left a guy's apartment, not hooked up with him, because his bedroom was so disgusting? And then we did an obvious guy switch. Has a guy ever left a woman's bedroom because she was so disgusting? Tammy, have back in your younger days, back in past lives, because I know people listen to the podcast, get all. Have you ever left? Or do you know of it? Like, would you have at 22 if a guy's bedroom was completely trashed?
I did leave once, but that, you know me, I have a very male energy. Like he had just a mattress on the floor with like no sheets or anything, and I was like, this looks like a murder scene. Like I can just see that that's what would happen with those guys though, with that hot Pamela Anderson like stripper. Guys would go upstairs, and then you could tell like. Plus, I could hear, but you could tell, like, when they were finished, within 5 minutes of finishing, they were gone. I mean, I never saw that. They finished, but they left.
To show you how
I don't blame them, dude. I mean, come on. I don't get it.
What a germ-phobe I am. Keep in mind, I'm in my 20s. I go out on a date with a girl, go back to her apartment, and she has iguanas that are like walking around the apartment. And there's this iguana shit on the couch, like in the chairs. Now, keep in mind, you're 20-something. All you're thinking is, maybe I hook up. I just was like, I just left. I don't even know what excuse to use, but I saw the iguana spray iguana poop onto the couch like I was about to sit down. And I did one of those. I'm going to go get us some food and never came back. That's the only time I've ever ghosted. I left a girl in the movie theater once.
In the movie theater?
Why, John? Why?
We went to movies and she was texting or talking to somebody. This is early 90s, so I guess you would be texting. And then she answers the phone and says, I'm at a movies with the guy. What are you guys doing tonight? And then she's like, yeah, I'll meet you guys and then I'll just stay the night. And it was a dude. And then I'm like, I just picked her up and took her to the movies. And I said, hey, I'm going to go get some popcorn. You want anything? And she said, no. And then I walked and I just left. I went to my car.
That is great.
Left her in the theater. You don't set up how you're going to hook up after the guy takes you to movies. Like,
where you can see the text.
You know what's great about that is that happened in the 90s. Those are the things that I love, that's the only thing our job gives us every once in a while. Like, you can be on TV and she might be flipping through her miserable life on her 4th divorce and sees your special somewhere and goes, that's the dude who left me. Is his name John?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah. Get a little revenge. Oh, what's that? Josh Blue.
What's up, y'all?
Coming to the right of the podcast, if you're watching it, is a good friend, Last Comic Standing winner. Also,
I shouldn't be on this.
You have we have a Last Comic runner-up and 3 Last Comic Standing winners in just 4 squares right here.
Look at that.
I mean, this is we could between the 3 of us, we'd almost sell 3 shows out in Atlanta. Do you realize that, fellas?
I was just gonna say I can't be with a woman unless there are 3 iguanas roaming around.
Yeah, Josh has a 3 iguana minimum.
Yeah. That's part of the thing.
They're called witnesses.
Yeah.
Well, they do have those crazy eyes that could go either which way, but you know.
Yes.
So, Josh, a couple things. We're all over the place on this podcast. One, Josh, we have Tammy Pescatelli on because me and Reep are doing this thing where we ask comics if we can come to their hometown and perform. And so we've been doing these town swap things. Josh, you're in Denver. You're more than welcome to have me and Reep over and introduce us to your crowd. But more importantly, Josh, I saw a social media post of yours, maybe yesterday or today,
Yes.
telling people to watch. I saw an AGT like banner behind you. I have questions because
I do too, man. I have questions. And I'm not really at liberty to say too much, but you are not mistaken.
Okay, for me though, because we all have it's almost like all four of us here went to a certain high school, and then we find out that your parents are divorced, and now you're gonna wear somebody else's varsity jacket. It kind of feels like wait a minute, can you? It's when the Verizon guy, the Hear Me Now guy, then swapped.
Don't compare me to that dude.
It feels weird.
But no, John, I did that too because I was the Hemi guy, and now I do stuff for Honda.
Yeah, that is weird.
So it's fine, but I want to hear Josh's story.
Yeah. So what can you tell us, Josh? Because we have a very powerful thing, and we're going to back you more than some dog that is running around doing hijinks and some little kid who sings 2 songs good, but once they hit the victory, they're going to stop. So.
Well, I just want to prove to the world that I'm not a novelty act by winning a show for novelty acts.
So how much can you tell us? Are you I'll ask yes or no questions.
Yeah.
Are you doing stand up?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Oh wait.
I thought it'd be like another crazy talent we didn't know about.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm juggling axes.
I mean, that would be awesome if you came on America's Got Talent and didn't do stand up.
That's my closer.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty good with the throwing axe. So maybe if I make it further in the rounds, I'll bring that up.
So you may or may not be on the show. People vote. Is that how this? I'm acting like I've never been on a reality show like this before. So people going to vote.
I've never watched the show. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Now, you know.
I am.
Is it voting, Tammy? I think it's just the judges for a while.
Listen, the 3 of us will vote for you for sure. We know how to do it.
Yes, this is what. Wait a second, guys. If we pull our forces together,
right?
If there's people voting, we could help. We could make this happen.
If you believe that it's not the producers'
right
idea of the winner. That's the thing. John knows we found the tapes where he wasn't even supposed to be the winner of our season.
Yeah, if you want to get a little thing.
If you really want to know the truth, they left the tapes in my dressing room, mine and Kathleen's dressing room, and they had all the goodbye packages for me, Kathleen, John, and Gary, and Alonzo. Not Gary.
Really?
Me, Kathleen, John, and Alonzo, and not Gary. Gary was supposed to win that season.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love this inside baseball here.
I snuck in and just wrote my name on Jay Moore's card.
Wow.
John, they overwhelmingly popular vote. They couldn't deny him. They didn't want to have a free-for-all.
John and Josh, when you guys were on Last Comic, did you have judges that said stuff to you after you performed? And I guess Josh... Well, Josh, you can't answer any of these because we don't know if you're on it.
I don't know.
Would that bug you? Somebody critiquing you after you got done doing, your set. Somebody going, well, you just didn't catch me or whatever.
I mean, for me, obviously that's not my favorite when somebody tells me how to do my shit.
Right.
Yeah, because would you get the note? Would somebody go, I like it, but can it be more cerebral palsy?
Yeah, less palsy. Maybe throw in some rickets or something.
It's funny, we just see you moving on, but could you just have more like Tourette's?
Yeah, some other ailment that's funny, please.
Yeah, I had Alonzo Bowden was one of the judges on my season.
Really?
So yeah, Kathleen Madigan was a judge on my season.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Alonzo Bowden and then Ant. But you know, I wasn't like, I mean, not to sound, I don't know, I wasn't threatened or worried, or I knew them. I knew them as fellow fraternity comedian fellows or something. You know, I wasn't like doing this. I hope that they like
John and
me.
I had such a great agent. He won and couldn't even get booked as the judge.
Yeah, they didn't want anything. They quit.
Sucked.
Josh, last time I saw you, we were in Denver. We did a live podcast with Brad Williams.
Yeah, man.
Still one of the funniest live shows I've ever done, ever.
Oh, yeah, it was a good night for sure.
All three of us were on stage. Just, I can't even, I've tried to retell the story. I don't even remember what podcast it was, but we were coming up with scenarios with Brad Williams, who is, I don't know how, little person. Is that even? I think that's, is that the term?
I think that's what they're using now.
I thought it was a hobbit, but I don't know.
So he was a hobbit, and then Josh, we're coming out of scenarios of coming out of pot stores together and just going to not eat the edibles or whatever scenarios we were doing was literally one of the funniest thing. And then speaking about palsy, then maybe 4 weeks later I got Bell's palsy. So all three of us.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
John Heffron, did you call Josh Blue when that happened?
No, I did not.
He called me because my husband had it.
Oh yeah, actually, I called Tammy because I show, and then I didn't know how to do it, and then I had those guys. I called them on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and he goes, I got it, and I go. He goes, does it get better? And I'm like, not over here, but it might for you. Yeah. And then you were better in like a week.
Oh yeah.
Well, how did it affect you? What were you doing?
So my whole right side went paralyzed.
Nice.
So my lips were like this, and I couldn't open this eye. I couldn't blink this eye. So I did one show. Maybe 2 weeks later, well, I was so like nothing worked.
Wait, weren't you in the middle of a show when it happened?
Yeah, I was on stage while it was happening. So I just felt my face just getting. But I did one show in wherever, Dayton for New Year's, and I had to take my lip and pull my cheek back like this so you could understand me. And then I took my elbow and I did my whole show just holding my mouth back like this, and the crowd was just
as if you had a pipe.
Yeah, like I was Popeye. Like I was just like so far that way, and the crowd was not cool about it at all. They were like, "Hey, it's New Year's Eve. We're spending $50.
Oh, wow.
We wanted a full working mouth."
You're saying that was coming on during a show though?
Yeah, I started. I mean, I slur and mumble anyway, but as I started talking, I noticed like I started almost farting it like this, and I couldn't.
Freak you the fuck out, man.
I didn't know. As I'm doing my show, I actually, not to do the bit I do, but I thought I was having a heart attack, and I didn't. I was going to be embarrassed if I collapsed in front of the crowd, but I was also embarrassed to end the show. So I didn't know. And then I figured, well, I'll just keep talking until I hopefully I'll wake up in a hospital. And I just kind of kept talking.
That is insane, bro.
But yeah, but it kind of happened. So Josh, Denver, are you back on the road after all this COVID? What was COVID like for you?
You know, I am back on the road, and I had been doing shows throughout the whole thing. I mean, not obviously as many, but Texas and Florida didn't give a shit about it. So
No.
You know, and I'm back pretty much as I want to be now. And I am performing in Denver July 2nd and 3rd. So you guys get your asses out here.
Comedy Works?
Yeah, the South Club.
Okay.
That's awesome.
One of the, I mean, every comedian in the country that you ask, what is their favorite comedy club? Denver Comedy Works is in the top 3. It might be the top 2.
I say top 2 every time, man. That downtown club is phenomenal. And it's not even open yet. So
they're still not open.
Yeah, they're still not. Really? I talked to Wendy. She said that she gets literally so many calls every day of comics. Wendy's the owner for everybody trying to get in. That she goes, you wouldn't believe the calls she's getting. Like these big name, Kevin Hart is coming to do dates. Like crazy huge comedians that are coming out to do dates. Sandler, all of them.
Do they have an open date set, Josh, or are they?
I think August is what they're saying.
Okay.
Why are they waiting that long? Because we've started to do shows and none of the rest of the country cares anymore.
Honestly, I think it's the staffing.
Oh,
dude, right, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you should do? Listen, I have nothing booked till October. I have no shame in my game. I know. I'll go work for Wendy. Wendy, if you're listening.
Are you going to wait tables?
I know how to run. I know. Watch. Wait,
we're going to film this. This is a real show.
Ready? Just listen to see if I can do this well. Ready? Corner.
Yeah.
Corner.
Yeah.
Wait, 86 potatoes.
Corner.
Wait a second. This would be a great pilot. Like, since no one wants to work, but every comedian wants to work, we take turns headlining one club, and the rest of us wait tables.
Yeah,
that is terrific. I'll do it. I was the world's worst waitress. That's how I started in comedy.
Yeah,
I've never done it, but I'd try it. I think it'd be cool. We know how to do it. I mean, the right way. We know how to talk softly. We know what we like as comedians when staff kind of bends over and tiptoes and doesn't make a big scene. So I think we'd be good at it. We should film that.
I'm telling you, that's how I started. I was a waitress at a comedy club for the summer because I didn't know anybody at the Davenport Funny Bone, and a woman came through. I loved comedy, but I'd never seen women, And if I did, they were all talking about like their husbands and their facelifts, like kind of where I am in my career right now. And like I couldn't relate to anyone. I was like young and 22, 23, and this young girl came through. And she was horrible. I mean, God bless her, but she was horrible. And I was like, I'm as funny as she is. And then they dared me to go on stage for $50.
Boom.
That was
Look
it.
At you now.
Yeah, look at me.
Still getting $50 to go on stage.
At least $50. Look at me begging for a job waiting tables again.
Well, that's what we should do. Let's do it. Let's all go to Denver. And tell Wendy that we will be the staff.
Dude, I'll get a camera crew ready, man. We can do that. I bet we can get a bunch of comics to do that.
We'll do it.
There's a lot of comedians in Denver already.
Lose that job too. I don't want to lose my waitressing job to Kevin Hart. Come on now.
That'd be hilarious.
Here. I'm just not clean. The only thing I won't do is I won't clean that condo. I won't clean the apartment condo. That's the only thing I'll do.
It's only because it's too big. That condo's amazing. That's one of the only condos I will stay in. There's like 5 I'll stay in.
Only Wendy's.
Denver's, God, I love it. I love how she decks it out. I think there's a suit of armor and a Tin Man, and there's video games, and there's probably all kinds of prizes that people have hidden in there.
Scavenger hunt is very fun to play.
Josh, let me ask you. Well, you can't say anything, so people should just randomly watch AGT just because it's a TV show that's on.
Yes,
and then
tomorrow night is the word on the street.
Okay, we got some information.
So tomorrow night.
Yep.
Hold on, everybody. I just got a text from my friend Rob. Hey, John, what are you doing? Tomorrow night, I'm going to watch AGT. Are you watching it? Yeah, Rob, I'm watching it. I don't really watch the show, but I just decided tomorrow I'm going to watch it just for no reason at all.
Wait a second. What time would be a good time to watch it tomorrow?
I believe it's 7:00 Denver time. So you do the math. I don't know.
That would be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Now, I've never done. Now I did. What's the old reality show?
American Idol?
No, before that one.
Real World.
No, before
The one
that.
we did last comic.
No, before that with Ed McMahon.
Oh,
Star Search.
Star Search.
So,
yeah.
okay, at least with last comic, you were performing after other comedians,
Right.
except random Jay London, which would maybe throw people off a little. Is it weird, Josh? Well, you can't really say to perform in front of a high dive act.
Yeah, the people before me could be like a ventriloquist dog or something.
Yeah, that was. I remember that. That was a season. I think that person won too, or the dog. I can't remember which one. Let me ask you this: who can you tell us who the judges are?
Oh yeah, it's Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Sophia Vergara, and Howie Mandel.
Out of those 4 judges, I imagine Howie. I mean, they all probably know you, right? Especially Howie because he's a comedian. How is it with?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like all the judges are from other countries too, so it should be America's Got Talent being judged by foreigners or something.
Right.
Let me tell you,
there's not one comedian. I mean, one American.
They contacted me a couple years ago. John, you remember this? Said that they were looking for a woman. It was a great year. It turned out Vicky Barbalack was doing great. And then when they said, tell us what you would want to do, I sent them a little clip and they go, the women won't like you because they won't understand you. You're too harsh for the 2 female judges.
Oh God.
And I was like, what? Are you telling me these 2 beautiful 2 specimens of women are not going to understand what a female comic is saying? They're like, no, they don't get stand up. They don't get comedy. So I hope that wasn't that way for you.
Well, right. Josh, I saw the post and I just had to one. Thank you. You literally, dude. Okay. So my text to Josh, I just said something like, hey, should do a podcast. And he did the new phone who dis to me. Right? He 100% just said, who is this? Because you know how you have sometimes a record of texting somebody? I just had your thing. I have no record of ever texting you.
Yeah, it was no record. Yeah,
I said sorry, which shows you what a nice guy you are. And then I go Heffron. That could have meant anybody. There's a lot of Heffrons.
You probably thought it was Brian Heffron from the Comedy Zone.
Yeah, you're like, what up, dude? Long time. Man, he has it. Josh, we've been turned down by this girl who was on this reality show called Love is Blind. She said, I regretfully passed. Debbie Gibson has said, I'm not feeling well. I regretfully passed. Gary Goldman said his internet is too bad. So he regretfully.
I believe that actually.
Well, there's so many and no comics in that 6. There's like 6 comics that are on everybody's podcast. I wouldn't even ask to be on. So you, Josh, John Reep has merchandise. I don't. He will be sending you a hat of his podcast called Country-ish, a very popular podcast.
Yes.
Way more listeners than the one you're on now. He's going to send you a free hat. And if you could wear it on the finals of the show that you're not on, he would appreciate it.
I got to work it into my closer, man, for sure.
Maybe, Josh, maybe if when you're going to the finals, since the 3 of us aren't really working except for each other's hometowns, maybe we'll come and sit in the audience as your members, like your family members.
My crew, yeah. That'd be awesome. Like
they can pan to us and we'll be like.
Which happened, by the way, happened on when Jon Reep won Last Comic Standing. I went to that final taping and I walked through. And we walk right. We're like row 1 or 2, just right there. I forgot even who was your host, John. And seat fillers came and said, "Can you guys not sit there?" And then they moved me almost to the back of the room.
Well, who was supposed to sit there?
News, buddy.
Old news, right? Yeah, I was on.
To the back, man. We need some hot chicks up front.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Do you remember when we came and did the roast between you and LaBelle?
Yes, I do.
That was so much fun.
It was. Lavelle was great at it. I was nervous as hell. I'm not used to being mean to people.
No.
So it was out of my comfort zone, but it was a lot of fun. I was actually really proud of a lot of the jokes that came out of everybody. I mean, it felt weird doing that. Like Chris Porter was one.
Yeah.
It was on the dais. You were there. Jeff Ross hosted it, of course. He's the roast master.
Bill, I think Alonzo. I only remember one joke, and it was the joke to you. And it was so good at the time because you were so fresh-faced and young. And I said that you look like Larry Bird's rookie card.
Yes, it was before the beard. And I do have a Larry Bird mouth. Like, it's weird. Like, it doesn't move. It's small and kind of has a crooked angle. Yeah.
That was my only one I could remember.
I think I forgot who the female comedian was, but I got a good one on her.
That was me. I was the only female on the whole show.
No, I got one on you too. I said a joke about you, and then I said, "Don't worry, she smelled that joke coming a mile away."
I know.
Now, Josh, if on the show, it's been a while since I've had to perform under pressure or have a performance that like has to count. Does this
performance at all, right?
Yeah, or anything. I've done nothing. I've made candles. I made charcuterie boards. Do you get stressed? Do you actually? I just see you just showing up and going, just doing your time and just leaving with little to no thought. And I say that in the nicest way.
Thank you, Don, for seeing me for who I am. I always say if I've ever put any effort into this, I might be really good.
Yeah. I always thought you have. And boy, you're going to see how well when you're headlining in Denver on July 2nd and 3rd, and you don't hear me and Reep or Tammy taking orders as we're working the room. You're going to be like, man, they're also good servers. When the show ends and I'm holding that bucket Wendy has where people can throw money in for her reading thing, and then we give out the box of Thin Mint cookies, you're going to see how well we do that. You're going to see how well Tammy and John return people's cell phones from that.
I'm quick at the open. I mean,
I love that they do that. That's
they don't do it. They're not doing it with COVID because of handing shit out, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Well, we're watching tomorrow. Let us know how we can help. Just everybody watch tomorrow and then jump aboard.
Wait, I got one last question. Were you in Vegas when this happened?
No, LA.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Sweet.
I'm gonna ask Wendy about us really filming us being servers. That'd be hilarious.
I'm on.
Tell her we got nothing going on.
I mean, I just looked at my calendar that weekend. Yeah. I mean, I was going to go to a monster truck race here in Hickory, but I can skip it. They'll be back.
We can do it any weekend because it's not open, so we can just make it open.
Right.
I'll tell her I'll seat people at the restaurant upstairs.
Perfect. I know, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Denver Comedy Works. We have one rule and one rule only. Please keep your table talk to a minimum. I
want to be that guy with the clipboard who just comes in. You don't even see him for the rest of the week, and he just goes, "How much time's everyone doing?" Yeah,
serving comics. What do we call this? I mean, it's we have to come up with a catchy title, but that would be interesting. I bet people would watch that.
Hey, take my tables. I'm going to do 5.
Yeah,
you just go, and you don't know what server is actually going to get on stage and perform.
Wait to laugh.
Josh, let me ask you this. I know you partake in the herbage. Do you try to stay focused when you do television, or do you ramp it up?
I can go either way. Just depending on how strict they are.
You don't want to be in front of some kid who can do like 50 push-ups, and then you're in the trailer next to him smoking them out.
Yeah, just hot box in the dressing room. You know, I mean, normally I go pretty hard before a show, but with this, it's kind of nice to have a clear head too. You know.
if there's a magician, whoever the magician's assistant is, smoke out that person. So that person
Oh, that's
no idea.
Sabotage, dude.
Yeah, like if they're in a box and they're supposed to get out, they're just like fall asleep.
I got some edibles, man. That would be the good one. Hey, I got you some candy. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Well, I know you got back from the garden. And
I love you, Joe.
It's so good to see you guys. It's been forever.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, and I'll see you in Denver waiting tables.
You got it, buddy.
All right, guys. Love you so much. Thanks for
Love you. Thank you, Josh.
We'll see you.
We'll watch you tomorrow.
Oh, man.
I forgot to tell Josh. Oh, I had a me and Josh story.
What
Jon
happened?
Reep, and you know Josh wanted to get off immediately, or I'd have him on again.
Wait, here's a funny title: Table Comics.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good one. And then there was another one, Dishing Up Comedy. That was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Bob Hayes, Dishing Up Comedy. I like that.
know,
Serving up
Josh
the
is-
laughs. That was, yeah, I thought of that too, Kev. That's a good one.
Josh, did I ever? I told. Well, I know I told John the story of. I did a show with Taylor Hicks and Josh Blue. I can't.
No, you did it with me, dude.
No, this was prior to you.
Oh, so you did Taylor Hicks twice?
I love
Hicks
Taylor Hicks.
twice.
How come I don't get that gig ever?
So Josh was on there. Oh, I should have asked him. This is when I almost got in a fight with Taylor Hicks' road manager because he was such an asshole to all the Navy guys or the people on the ship. We're doing this USO thing. I'm not even telling you any of the story. It was just.
Wait, were you on a boat doing
We were
something?
on a boat. We were on the U.S.
ship. Oh, okay.
Right.
And Taylor Hicks' crew were just dicks, and it got around fast.
Wow.
That he was a tool. So Josh goes up. That Marina Nunez was also with us. And then I perform, and me and Josh were just making fun of Taylor Hicks the entire time while he was on stage. But nobody was clapping for him because he's doing that. You guys are all America makes proud. But everyone kind of heard some of the stuff that happened. And I'm skipping so much of the story. So
that's awesome. I didn't know that because when we were there together.
Remember? Well, at the end of the thing with Josh is, so you're signing an autograph. Taylor signed a bunch, just was as fast as he can. And then when the soldiers came to talk to him, he took his hand and was just flipping the pictures like this.
Yeah.
Right? And not even making eye contact.
And that's the best part of USO tours for people who don't know, like having those conversations with people, giving them a minute. Maybe you're from their hometown, something.
So he said something kind of, he had enough of me, and I'm skipping so much of the story. And I said, that's fine. Yeah, maybe we caught you on a bad day. Maybe you're tired, but you'll think of this conversation when you're performing Grease in Cleveland. I literally said that to him. So then I'm at Pickwick's and Frolics and walking down the street, maybe half a year later, and there's a poster for Grease. And guess who's in it?
Stop it.
No. So I thought,
hang on. There's a Grease in Cleveland?
Well, it tours. The touring company.
Okay, so most people don't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, no, I mean, it is weird that he's saying he Grease the play.
And he was in it.
Oh.
And he was in it.
I'm thinking the country, dude.
No.
I'm like, that'd be a great thing to be in Greece.
So then,
I'd love to go to Greece.
I gotta go. I gotta be in the garden with Josh. Come on, you guys.
So then me and Reep do this Cena, this big car show thing in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're in our green room, and then somebody comes up and says, hey, the musical act is sharing the green room with you guys. And we're like, who is it? And they go, it's Taylor Hicks. And then I was like, oh, fuck. So I told John, I don't know how he's going to be to me. And then he came and didn't even remember me. Right? Nothing. Like
I didn't get any sense of awkwardness out of that at all.
Yeah.
I just got the sense of, hey, we're all kind of entertainers here, probably all in our head, focused on what we got to do. And they're being polite. They're not like kissing your ass, making deep eye contact. They're busy. They're worried about the show that night. So I didn't get that sense from him at all. And I met him later in Birmingham, Alabama at a TV station. We were both there promoting a show.
And he was fine.
And he was fine. Yeah.
Oh, maybe he had a bad day.
I was a big fan of his, but I also was a big fan. One of the ones I did, we went to the Middle East when it was what really was war. It was like 2003, and it was classified under war at the time. We were at Aliyah Salim, a Marine. I think that's the Marine base. And people don't understand when you go on bases, like sometimes you're performing on a pallet in the middle of the sand. I apologize. This was at Camp New York, just on the other side of the highway to hell. And we were like in a pallet in the sand. And I'm like, there's no one here. And then all of a sudden trucks started coming, and they came and they put their spotlights on us, and they sat on the sand and the dirt and whatever. They're just so excited to have a piece of home. And I was with Lee Greenwood, and he was all proud to be American until a sandstorm came, and he refused to continue to sing. I had already been on stage, but I looked out, he came off stage, and there was no one was moving. Like the Marines were still sitting, like they were waiting. They waited for weeks for this show. So, I went back on stage, and I just did it sideways. They had a horrible profile on my nose the whole time, but he was so. I said, I got off stage. I'll never forget this, because he's actually threatened to sue me over this story, but it's the truth. So you can't. I said, you are the biggest dick, and I will never, ever, ever. Everybody I meet from the rest of my life, I will tell them how you ruined this, because I loved that song, and everybody loves that song, right?
Yes.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
It is sad.
So was he like singing where he's like, and proud to be American? And
he was singing another song, and then it really was a sandstorm. I mean, it was a horrible sandstorm. Like literally it's miserable out there how our troops do it. Hats off, salute to you, because there are scorpions, there are everything. But a horrible storm was coming, and if you were standing on stage, it was just hitting you to the side. But I just turned sideways and finished the thing. But he didn't want to do it.
Hats off to you, Tammy. I'm sitting here thinking, would I do that?
Yes, you would.
Know. Probably.
Yes, you would, because there's something inside of you that when you see them, like you have to really be heartless to not give them what they need. All they're asking you to do is perform for a little bit.
Yeah.
Turn your back. Yeah. It's 3 minutes of dealing with some inconvenience. Not like,
wow, dude, God, now I'm like, I can't like that song anymore.
It changed.
You can't.
He's not proud after all.
He is. He's proud to cash his check. That's what he's proud of. He's proud of it.
And he told you not to tell that story.
Right. You don't remember that whole thing? I got a whole cease and desist. Get out of here.
That's awesome.
Cease and desist this. That's a true story. All those other people saw it. So maybe I'm not telling. Maybe I'm repeating a story that somebody else told me. You can't prove that I said
it. That's right.
Allegedly,
Tammy.
you know the guy. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not on my 4th of July celebration. I'm not. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to change it. Like
people are clapping for you.
If that was on the playlist, now it's not.
It shouldn't be.
Prince played During the Rain. That is not.
What other song does he have? By the way?
I really don't know. And I was on tour with him for 3 weeks. I don't know. It was me and him and some Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and I don't know a rapper. God bless him. I can't remember. He died.
I think at one point he was lobbying to try and make that like a national anthem. And there was momentum behind that campaign where he was like, people were going like, we should make this the new anthem. The other one we got's too old. No one can sing it except for Whitney Houston. So we need to change it to this dude. Like there were people talking about it.
Were you in the green? Well, there was an agreement. So after you get done, you perform.
No, then we go on to another. No, so then we have to drive back because we were actually staying in. That was at Camp New York, which was an Army base. You have to drive that highway to hell back to the UAE. Okay, you have to go back because we were staying. God, I don't know how you guys know. Sorry, I can't even think about it. Anyway, you drive back from, like, we were literally in the Iranian border, and then you had to drive back over to where we were. So we had to drive for 2 hours in the same Humvee and the same thing. Wow. And he was pissed, and I did not give it. I don't care. It was the.
What was he mad about though? It was a sin. It's not like somebody heckled him or there was something tangible.
Well, he wanted the show to end, and I just kept saying, well, I guess when you have a number one song, you're not tough enough to stand in a sandstorm, but I got nothing to lose. Like by the way, guys, I really had nothing to lose. I hadn't been on Last Comic. I hadn't done the Today or the Tonight Show or anything. It was 2003. I'd been like a Bob and Tom person. Like that's the biggest credit. I'd won Bud Light Ladies of Laughter that someone on Wikipedia changed to the Bud Light Ladies of Lather, you know? But I just was so incensed because I was like, how could you not feel? They're sitting in the sand on top of their vehicles with their AKs next to them. This is their life. Like, this is what they got. 100 degrees. You know?
Yeah, screw that guy.
We were driving back to Kuwait. I'm too old.
He probably would have messed up his beautiful mullet. Didn't he have like a sweet little skullet? Like I know he's bald on the top, and he had.
Well, that was another thing I said. I go, I don't know. I was on stage. I go, I don't know why he won't come out here. It's not like his hair dye is going to run anymore. I was livid. That's why I don't have a bigger career. If anybody ever wants to know, go watch my specials. I'm funny. But I have screwed myself time and time. John knows what happened. Heff knows what happened to me at HBO. Like I screwed myself out of my HBO deal completely.
We have there's so many great. What time is John? On your season of Last Comic, you guys just performed, right? Was there any interaction with the other comics?
Yeah, we did. We didn't have to live in the house together, thank God.
Right.
But we did have to do challenges.
Okay.
So we had to go to medieval times and dress up like court jesters. We had to go to a yoga thing. I mean, we did things, but we met up there, and then we'll go back to our hotel rooms. So I dodged that bullet.
I can't understand why, because Michelle, the person I'm seeing, she's never. I met her. She never even knew I was a comic, which was way cool. But she's never seen a last Comic or anything like that. She's like, "What was the show?" And stuff. She was like, "I was raising kids. I didn't see it." And then that made me think. There's the Peacock Network. Like, why? I wish they would run all of the seasons of Last Comic on the Peacock Network because there's a lot of young. Now famous people on there. There's
why I bet you. I mean, at some point they would. It seems like they would have to because if you have a streaming service, you got to have stuff up there. Why wouldn't they just dump their whole library? Then maybe it's also like, well, some of these comedians who haven't been on TV in a while might start raising some hell. We might get some lawsuits.
Can't resign our rights away completely because I remember when it went off, they took it to South Africa.
Yeah.
So Trevor Noah's crew came up to me at a Just for Laughs thing. I never met Trevor Noah, but they're like his best friends, but he brought them to do the show with him. And then the guy who runs Comedy Central in South Africa. And we were like the first comedy they had seen after post-apartheid because they just kept playing Last Comic over and over and over again.
Oh, really?
It was the craziest thing. They were like, we watched you over, we know. And they were like recited my act, the only act that they kept approving for me on that show. So it was interesting. But we don't even get credit for reality show. Like we really, like Bonnie and I fought, Bonnie McFarlane, who is one of my best friends right now. Like I love her so much. We're like sisters. But we fought like crazy people because the producers lied to us, and then you can tell.
I hate even seeing Tammy talk about this. I have so many thoughts and so many things popping in her head, and I don't even know if people are interested in old school. I mean,
you're right. I'm sorry.
It was the
I'm
show
interested.
15, 20 years ago, but I'm just thinking. Our show had a sexual harassment lawsuit where we had to stop filming
Yeah.
And there's so many times where we had to go into a tent and talk to an NBC. Yeah. So, but you would never
had a
know.
racial thing where they lied and told Corey that we were afraid of him, which was a big lie.
Yeah. There was an episode. I guess, John, do you feel like hearing this random story?
Yeah, I have to pee so bad, but I do want to hear it. Why don't y'all talk about something else for 5 seconds, and I'll be right back.
Hold on, I have a. Okay,
no, don't tell me to hold on. I have to go pee.
I'll tell you where I'm going to be. How about that?
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me play this.
Moving on.
Nope, that's not it.
Heffron and Reep will be right back.
I'm just addicted to it.
Oh, yeah.
Just all around cool. They're awesome.
Number one.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I always think, Tammy, anytime I see like Josh Blue or Jon Reep, or I don't even know that people want it besides Eliza.
And Alonzo.
Oh, and Alonzo.
And
Yeah.
our weird season.
They, here's why I feel old school is that they never had to perform. Like all those seasons that were on, like the winners did, and now I sound like old and crotchety, but like one set. I think on our show, because you made it to the final, so you were on every episode. I was,
yeah.
Which was great because that meant we both got health insurance for a year.
Right. I remember. I'll never. Yeah. That's how I ended up getting therapy. That's why I don't punch people in the face.
Yes. So that was
insurance.
But we performed, right? Because how it worked was somebody said you're funnier than them, which is horrible. Right. Which was just horrible.
It was horrible.
I still have nightmares about that. Then you would have to perform if enough people voted for you.
Right.
If you had more people say that they were funnier than you, then you would have to perform that night. And then
pack up all your stuff.
What?
Remember that? You had to pack up all your stuff to go to the theater.
And then when they would give results of who won the head-to-head competition, you both had to perform again, is how they originally did it. So if I got challenged, right? If I got challenged and went against whoever, we both would perform. Then the next day or the next episode, I'd perform again. And so did the person who you went against again. So you do 4 sets and then you would get kicked off the show. You just ended up doing a lot of stand-up, which was good.
Yeah. I ended up, I did not say I was funnier than Todd Glass, but somehow we had the equal number of votes. So we were tied.
Yeah, so then it was that form of reality showness where you have conspiracies and you had, awesome editing. The one I did, I even showed, it was of us, Tammy, where we're sitting around fire and we're plotting against who, if so-and-so votes for so-and-so, then that'll leave us open. But then watching the edit, you see, I might even they cut to me wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
Staring at the fire. So it looks like I'm contemplating, like it literally looks like Tammy threatens me. Well, if you don't vote against Alonzo, but I'm not even in the room when she says it. Mm-hmm. And it was just edited. So I remember when Tammy had a huge not a huge reputation of always like, I'm the Italian girl. She literally said she was Italian. I think you had one bit.
I had one bit.
Yeah. And it just got played, or how they did it. It just seemed like you were saying it
every time. Yeah. And it was so funny because
you always talk.
Yeah. And then I would get these things because Sopranos was big then. And there was one time we were all in our room. It was me, you, Kathleen, Aunt. But Kathleen and Alonzo were out on the tour, and Jay London, because we were in I say tour because we were in a castle, like a porn castle, like a real castle.
Yeah.
And they were out smoking, and it looked like I was just saying to Aunt, they really, they had characters back then. That was the cool. We thought we were in a competition, but they were creating a reality show that was fake, and they showed when they. We're all talking about our strategy, but it looked like, I go, what are they going to make, talk about, what do they do, like Italian, like I want his family dead, I want his house burned to the ground. And I was joking, but they made it like I was like there was a whole other thing where I was walking away from Bonnie and went upstairs in the dressing room, and I was upset. and they cut it when they played it on TV. I had no mic on or anything. They put the cry the words underneath. I thought I was in private. I wasn't trying to freak out in front of the camera. In that same room, they must have been filming us naked too. Like it was crazy. It was insane. It was so.
I remember that, even though it happened so long ago, because I didn't know you then. So then you'd watch the episodes, and you'd go. The thing was, you said, I've been to war, bitch.
Right.
Remember that? That was but it literally is the story that Tammy just told us.
It really was.
So then when we're watching the show, the producers would go,
wow,
Tammy's saying she's been to war and you have not. And you're like, who the fuck? What is that? Like, that's how it used to get you. The producer would say something.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that hearing this stuff, like,
they
really should put it up on the Peacock and release footage never seen before, because imagine all the shit they cut out.
I would to watch it and talk about it, because I literally started watching the show when I knew that I was like on the show, and I knew I was going to be in the live finals, right? So I started, when they started airing the show, I had people over. We had champagne. Midway, like week 4, I'm in my house sitting on the floor with the lights off, trying to watch the TV because I didn't want anybody to know I was home. I was so sickened by the way it was edited. And like John said, like we had different clothes on. There was a day that I made everybody after we came back from our challenges, I made everybody whatever food we had, or like peanut butter, jelly, I don't know what it was. And I made one for Jay London, but they made it look like I didn't give him one. Like, people are sick.
Yeah. Wow. They edited one of the biggest not fights in the story, which was really intense. And I don't remember if they
John, real quick, hang on. I want to address one comment. Randy Power is saying the show became scripted after a while. I don't think it's ever scripted.
Ours wasn't.
It is heavily edited in a way that the producers want it to look. And you can do that with any reality show. If you have enough footage, you can make it look how you want it to look. We were never scripted.
Never.
When we got on stage and did our comedy, that was us doing our comedy that we wrote. So I want to make sure that people know it wasn't scripted. It was edited.
Ross Mark, shut up, Ross. You know, you big baby. You know that NBC threatened to sue us when they brought back. They told us it's final five, and then they brought Jay London back to do the final 6. We thought we were in a comedy competition. So then we all threatened to quit, and they said that they would sue us for $50 million, and we all went back to work. And that's
that's hilarious.
We love you, Ross Mark.
That was Ross Mark, one of the producers of Last Comic. One of my favorite stories.
Amazing.
About Tammy, we had to do a thing, John, where we were on a bus, the Last Comic bus, and we were driving around Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, we love you, Ross.
Yeah, and Todd Glatt, we're all in this bus, and then there's a follow van that follows you for audio. So all the tech guys are always just kind of and everybody's always mic'd. So Todd Glass yells out, like, you're passing all the people who are dressed as characters on Sunset. He yells out,
"Yeah, this is crazy."
He goes, "Nice dick." Spider-Man just yells it because Spider-Man's outfit is so tight.
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear underwear. Remember?
What?
He didn't have underwear on.
He didn't have underwear. So you saw what side
Spider-Man outline of everything, huh?
And then Todd says, I don't even know how to tell the story. Todd says, nice pants. And then he says the F word. I'm gonna use that just to not be.
Yeah, but not the F word that you can't say anymore. We can all say.
Oh, not the 5-letter one.
Yeah. Six.
He says, nice, whatever. So then Ant is in the van or is in the thing.
And he's very proud and very
proud and very gay, and says, why would you say, call that guy the F word? I'm offended that you said the F word. And then Todd says something back to him. I don't even remember what.
They were fighting. Yeah.
They were fighting. And then Ant goes, that would be like if I yelled, and then Ant yells the N word.
And then we all went like this. Me, John, John, Kathleen just went, oh.
So we're in there. And then Corey Holcomb. Do you know Corey Holcomb, John?
Yes.
Corey is sitting in the back, moves up to the front of where Ant was and sits right next to Ant. Mm-hmm. And Corey said, say that word again.
Ooh.
And then Ant did this gay guy thing where they even get more flamboyant.
Yeah.
And started saying it repeatedly. Like, and like,
I don't remember that because I checked out.
That didn't make it to air, did it?
No. So then Corey goes, and I'll never forget this. Because Corey is always like, I wish I had an inner Corey Holcomb because I'm so not tough.
I love Corey, and
so it's so like just to be that. And I just remember him going, "You think I give a shit about these cameras or this TV show? You think this means shit to me?
Yeah,
I'll take off." And he takes off his mic. He rips his mic off. It's taped on you. Wow. Ripped it off, throws it down, and he's like, "I will."
And I got in between them. I remember that.
And he's sitting in between them.
I got in between them because I'm like, "Come on."
So we're literally in our microphones, like we're trying to call in the SWAT team, going, "Yeah, you guys from that other van could probably come up." Could probably let us out of this bus at
abort.
Yeah, we've had enough of this. So I remember Tammy just gets up and moves. It
was palatable.
Because Corey's like, I don't know how big
Corey
that
would kill Ant.
Kill. So then he moves, and then maybe Alonzo calmed Corey down, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So then somehow everybody in the bus is crying now. We get back to the porn castle, and then that's a wrap for the show. So
that was a vote night, though. That's the problem. That's how I ended up going against Todd, because then they went and told Corey that I said I was afraid of him. I am not afraid of Corey Holcomb. I loved Corey Holcomb. I wasn't afraid of him that night. I was afraid of that situation. That situation was extremely volatile, and I didn't. I tried to calm him down.
And here's how insensitive I am. So now Ant is saying he's afraid of Corey, and we've been eating turkey sandwiches with no air conditioning in this porn house just to make sure that everybody was in a bad mood. They sent Ant to like a 4-star hotel that night.
Right.
So we could get over. They sent him to a safe space.
It wasn't safe, yeah.
So they sent him to a thing, and just the whole time I was, now pissed going, I'm going to be afraid of somebody so I can get out of this house.
He also made phone calls. He was calling people, trying to figure it. It was so great.
Yeah. So then that night, it was me and Kathleen Madigan. I think we were just sitting around and we were having drinks. And then they got us drunk enough where I threw a garden gnome into the pool. And then that's when I got a bunch of hate mail, because apparently you don't throw garden gnomes.
I got to go back and I wish there was a way I could watch your season.
You won't like me, though. They made me so unlikable and then asked people to vote for me. I'm like, how can I get people to vote for me? But
honestly, look, to be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of the seasons before me.
Yeah.
So that means it includes you guys. I just know you from LA, hanging out with you one-on-one before Last Comic Standing existed, seeing you in clubs, shooting the shit in the green room. That's how I know you. Yeah, 100%. So by the time Last Comic came around and you guys were on it, I was like, oh, I'm happy for him. I didn't see it, but now hearing these stories, I want to watch it.
There's some good, if they showed it, like, and this isn't all, there was one episode, I think we were in the finals. And again, it's weird talking about a show that was on almost 20 years ago. Nobody's going to remember any of this stuff, but we're all standing on this stage and there's just a faux backdrop. It looks all glittery and gold. I don't even know, where somebody's going to get voted off or something. And we're standing on our marks, the tape that's just on the stage, and Gary Goldman's there. Tammy's there. I forgot who else was there.
That was part 2 of the season. Are you going to talk about how Gary got involved in that one too?
Yeah. So Gary's just sitting there, and Gary to me is one of the nicest guys ever, and one of the funniest. And literally,
sweet man.
Jay Moore walks by him, And all I see, you just see Jay Moore.
John, I have to say one thing.
Okay.
Let me just say this. Jay had been nitpicking and going at Gary for months. By the time you're talking about our season 2A, which was our season got so popular that after the Olympics, they started another one, season 1 versus season 2, which was pure competition.
Yeah.
Jay had been saying little things to Gary for months.
Okay.
Really undermining his manhood, his girlfriend, his act. And I think that was the day.
Okay. So,
yeah,
so I didn't know any of that. So Gary Goldman, find him on YouTube.
He's a mind fucker.
Okay.
Yeah. So Gary Goldman's what, 6'5"?
Yeah.
That guy was a rower. Or I think he wrote anyway, he's a physical, specimen.
Yeah.
He's just a big, so I'm standing there, not even paying attention because some of those days are long and I'm just staring at my feet going, how much longer are we going to, or what are we recording? And you see Jay Moore walk by and he says something to somebody. Then I swear it happened this quick. It was 20 years ago. Then all I saw was Jay Moore's feet lift off the ground. Almost his feet are now almost to my shoulder length. So Goldman grabs him by the neck,
by the throat,
by the neck, not the shirt, by the neck, and does this move. It's not even, you wouldn't do it to a little kid, but you just hold like it's Thor. You'd hold.
He ran him across the stage,
sprinted. So you're halfway on the stage. He has him by the neck and is sprinting him across the stage. And there's a big ass faux wall as a set. Slams him against that, and this thing felt like, right, Tammy? It was 2 stories high.
Yeah,
and you saw this whole wall just go. It starts wobbling, and then you're looking at it, going, "This is coming down, and it's going to crush all of us."
Right.
And then he drops him. No, one
I got
crew
in
member.
between.
Yeah, not one crew, not one union guy walked over there. And then you just hear, it was a wood floor. You just hear Tammy probably had like dress shoes on or I just hear her heels just click, 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 click. It just touches Gary and she said, like, Gary, let's go. Or just something.
Gary, you don't want to do this. I just literally gently went up to him and I was like, Gary, you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's not. Because we all had Gary, myself. I don't know, Barry wasn't my manager at the time, but Jay and Gary had Barry Katz as their manager. Mm-hmm. I just knew that it would. I mean, I'm so happy with Gary's career, but at the time I was so worried that NBC was going to freak out. I was just like, Gary, come on. You don't want to do this. I do remember that out of the corner of my eye, Ralphie was running around the back of the stage as I'm trying to Ralphie wanted no parts of the confrontation between Gary and Jay.
And then
I didn't know any. Gosh, they got to put this stuff out there. They got a whole new show.
Goldman drops Jay, right? Literally drops him. Walk right back to his ex or the mark, your mark on the stage that was right next, and just stands there. And I could have some of this twisted. I swear 5 minutes later, the lights were on and we shot whatever or something.
No, it didn't happen that way. I took him back. I took Gary to the back.
Oh, okay.
And I think Alonzo came back there with me. I think you did too. I think you were in shock, but you came back and we were trying to calm Gary down. And then all of a sudden Jay came back.
Oh, that's right.
To apologize, but we were like, "Get the hell, go! Just get out of here because it's not going to go." Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
family
I
fun.
got some follow-up questions.
Family fun comedy.
We loved each other a lot though back then. It was such an amazing.
So Jay Moore was the host. Yes.
Yes.
Why was he giving Gary hell if he's not competing with him? He's just being a bully, just busting balls.
I think he was just busting balls, but I think he just did too much for too long.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, you know what I mean? They were friends. They had the same manager. They,
Okay.
I just think it was the last straw. He was doing a thing about, I don't even want to say because I'll tell you another time, but he was saying some stuff and it was just, I think Gary had just had it.
It got personal maybe and then it's just had enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget, I think that they had wanted Gary to win that season because he didn't have a goodbye package the first season and that didn't happen. But thank God, look at Gary selling out everything now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Amazing.
got one of the best bits about states
Everything.
Names.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's a great bit.
That's amazing.
I love him. I mean, I've known him since, like just from LA going to Dublin's and the Comedy Store and seeing him back in the room, still writing before he went up there.
Right. Yeah. I
wish they should play it and play all the.
We should play it and stop it and talk about it. Maybe that's what we need to do because it's insane.
Oh, that would be a good show.
Ross Mark, who's chiming in, he's the only one who get us in trouble. We got to talk to him, make sure he keeps his pie hole shut.
Yeah.
Who you talking about?
Ross Mark.
I don't know who that is.
Ross Mark was the reason I have a career.
Yeah, Ross Mark was my manager, but also did the Tonight Show, and also they were producers of Last Comic Stand.
Between he and Bob Reed, I wouldn't have a career if it wasn't.
Oh, well then, hello, Ross.
Yeah.
I'm Jon Reep.
His stepdad is Bud Friedman. You know Ross. You've had to.
I probably do.
You've met him.
Yeah.
And he's got a garage workout that's.
Look, the profile pictures are this big. I can't see what people look like on,
Yeah.
I got a tiny screen I'm looking at here. But crazy. I'd love to tell some war stories too. My season, it was me.
Yeah, tell me.
Lavelle Crawford, Amy Schumer. You had Jerry D.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people on that one. Ours was different than yours. We didn't have to live together. That's a whole nother ball game. But we'll save it for next time. We're already over like an hour and a half.
All
right. Yeah, because Reep had to live with me for 3 days.
Oh my God!
Past weekend, and that was the thing. And Tammy, the reason why we had you on is because we were going to convince you to get me and Reep to come to your neck of the woods, and we'll have a big blowout party. But we might have to move that on to next week because we got all twisted.
Well, let's do it, and then let me come hang out with you guys in your hometowns.
Yeah, Tammy, can you zoom in again next week or another Monday sometime?
Yeah, for sure. What's next month? Yeah, I can do it.
Because we do these every Monday at 8, and I'd love to do this again.
Sorry.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry if I talk too much.
Not at all.
I'm happy to see you guys.
Likewise. I love it. You're great, and thanks for doing it. And I can't wait to hear more. I want to hear more stories about that season. That is insane. I didn't know that Gary choked out.
We haven't even gotten to the girl who performed in the bikini. We never got.
I forgot about.
Oh
We didn't even get to the time that they had no food in the house and only alcohol for us for a day and a half.
I did, and then I'll tell you. I did something. Crap. Well, it wasn't crappy. It was supposed to be funny, and then it got taken as crappy, and then everybody hated me. How's that?
Save it for next week, and everybody hit the share button.
No one cares about this show. I feel so embarrassed. I don't even use it in my credits anymore. Now I feel embarrassed.
I open with it. Me and Reep just performed with each other.
Yeah.
We have Last Comic Standing headshots.
Yeah. We had a whole podcast called Last Podcasting for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, if we go to AGT, we could say as seen on AGT, even if we're in the audience, because so many people did that during
That's right.
Everybody's got to follow that. We got to have Josh Blue win. We have to, if he's even on.
Yeah,
that's going to be my goal.
Well, John, we'll save this thing for next time.
All right, let's do. Okay, how about this? Jon Reep? Ready? Here we go.
Lock it in and rip the knob off. You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet, the Heffron and Reep Show.
That was it. That's all I'm playing. Goodbye. Everybody. Be safe. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you.
Bye.
Do the one, not the long.
Since you love the Heffron and Reep show, please go to iTunes and let them know. Rank the show and leave a comment. We don't care what you write, you know. They, Heffron and Reep, have low self-esteem. So please validate them by ranking them and making them seen. So no matter what